What were the worst 2 minutes of your life? My wife had died 2 years ago in that car accident, and I'd been juggling everything alone ever since. Work, bills, groceries, raising my 4-year-old daughter Zoe by myself. My brain never stopped running. That Tuesday was especially nuts. I'd spilled coffee all over my warehouse uniform while trying to make Zoe's breakfast. She refused to eat anything except the crusts of her toast, which made us late. Traffic was backed up for miles because of construction. My phone kept buzzing about some delayed shipment at work. I kept checking the rearview mirror, watching Zoe hum to herself with her stuffed frog in the back seat. She always brought that thing everywhere. Had this little song she'd made up about frogs jumping in puddles. My routine was always the same. Drop Zoe at daycare first, then drive 3 minutes to the warehouse. I'd done it hundreds of times, but that morning, my mind went completely blank. I parked at work, grabbed my lunch bag from the passenger seat, and ran straight into the building. I was already 20 minutes late. My supervisor was waiting for me with this annoyed look on his face. I didn't even think twice about anything, just started apologizing and grabbed the inventory scanner. The warehouse was loud as usual. Forklifts moving around, people shouting over the noise, radios crackling. I was scanning boxes, trying to catch up on the shipment that came in overnight. That's when my phone buzzed again. It was a text from Miss Janet at the daycare. "Is Zoe staying home sick today?" My heart just stopped, like someone had dumped ice water in my chest. I dropped the scanner right on the concrete floor. It shattered into pieces. I didn't say anything to anyone. I just ran. People were yelling my name behind me. My supervisor was shouting something about the broken scanner. I didn't care. I sprinted across that parking lot faster than I'd ever run in my life. Almost slipped on some oil stain near my car. There she was, sitting in her car seat, crying so hard her whole face was red. The windows were all fogged up from her breathing. She was soaked in sweat, her little hands pressed against the glass. She was screaming, "Daddy," over and over. I yanked that door open and grabbed her. She was burning hot and shaking. Her hair was stuck to her forehead with sweat. She looked at me with these confused, terrified eyes like she couldn't understand why I'd left her there. I held her tighter than I'd ever held anyone in my life. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely unbuckle her car seat. Tears were pouring down my face. I kept whispering, "I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry," again and again. She clung to my shirt and wouldn't let go. It had only been 2 minutes, maybe 3 at most, but those were the worst minutes of my entire life. Worse than getting the call about my wife's accident. Worse than anything. Thank God it was still early morning and not too hot outside yet. If it had been summer, if it had been afternoon, if I'd been distracted for longer, I can't even think about it. I called in sick to work, called the daycare to explain what happened. Then I called my mom and just cried on the phone with her for an hour. Zoe was fine, just scared and hot, but she was okay. The next day I bought one of those sensor things that buzzes if there's weight in the car seat and you turn off the engine. Cost me almost $200, but I don't care. I also started setting phone alarms and leaving sticky notes on my steering